Welcome back to another episode of You Win or You Learn. I'm Dylan Haskin. We've recently got a brand new social media client, and I thought what I'm going to do over the next couple of months is maybe once a month make a series of what we've learned with that brand throughout the month, what we've tried, how the account's going, share some of the stats, talk to you through our idea process of how we're thinking of content and working together with a new company. So I'm not going to tell you who the account is because I don't want you guys going from these videos and looking at the account and then it increases the views, and that isn't obviously how we are doing the marketing. We're not trying to market them through this. We're trying to market them through them. So I don't want to have this to, sort of have any influence on their account. But let me just give you the background of how I found them, what was my approach to attracting a new client, and anything else that I can think of sharing along the way. So this client is based locally here in Durbanville. They are a big brand, but they're like an outlet of the big brand. So there's sort of the main brand, which is all over the world. And this is an outlet. They're like a distributor of the product. I went to look at their social media, and at the moment they are only doing Facebook, and they're not really doing Facebook to the extent that they could. They have no Instagram account. They've got no TikTok account. They have no YouTube account. And the client or the company, to me, has a lot of potential. So that's kind of what I was looking at when I was looking for clients. I was looking for somebody local, someone that has a brand, but is not making use of social media and has a lot of potential. That's sort of, I guess, I'm not trying to create something out of nothing. I'm trying to see where there is potential and then how we can help that sort of get developed. After I found them, I sent the owner a mail and I sort of let him know, listen, I live in the area. I go past your place often. And every time I go past, I sort of think, you guys have so much potential. I would love to work with you. Then I just gave him a brief, this is what we've done. And if you're interested to have a coffee and have a chat more, just like let me know and then I'll come around. So I try to make it very catered towards them. This is a cold email. He doesn't know who I am when I'm sending a mail. You get lots of spam emails. So I'm trying my best to basically not sound like a spam email and sort of right in the beginning put into context of like who I am, but that I live local, that I've seen their shop, I love what they do, and basically just offering to come for a chat. So I'm not saying, would you like to hire us? I'm just talking about let's have a chat, because actually I don't know yet if it would be good for them or not until I've had a chat with them. So the owner got back to me the next day, which was super cool. And even just to get a reply on a cold mail, I feel like is a win to an extent, because the fact that they reply means they didn't think it was a spam thing and they actually did read through it and they took the time to actually send a mail back. So that's always a win. Even if they're saying no, they're not interested, it's still a win in the sense of, getting a mail back from what could be seen as a spam mail. He said he was keen and he actually commented on there that he really liked how I structured my mail. So that was great. And then, went for a coffee, had a chat. And I feel like once you get to be in front of people, and it's a lot easier than talking over the phone or on email. So went there, had a chat, had a coffee. I talked about what we do in a bit more like detail, because obviously in the email was very point form. Just sort of like shared a bit about our company, who we are, what we do, how we help clients, and then spoke. And then I asked him questions about what is it that they're actually looking for. Obviously, I can see a lot of like potential in what they could do, but they might have other things that they also need. So I don't want to assume everything that they want. But I also want to be asking them like, what is it that they need, and just to hear. So the thing for him was that he sees the value that they need to be more active on social media in a different kind of way than what they have been before. They don't really need social media to drive sales and traffic. This is more about increasing brand awareness for them. So that's also very cool for us. Because if you're doing organic social media like we do a lot, it's a lot about the brand awareness and not really about driving sales like an ad would be. So they want that. And then he had some concerns about social media content. They've seen content out on TikTok that they don't really like, and they kind of are hoping that that's not what it is. They maybe have a bit more of a conservative approach and a more professional approach to what they want to put out there. And this is when I think it's super important to be listening to the clients and hearing what their concerns are. So he doesn't want to be dressing up in a weird way and doing a dance on TikTok, for example, which is anyway not what we were planning to do. But these are the kinds of things that clients are concerned about, because they're not experiencing TikTok. They might have had a view on TikTok and just seen people like dancing and acting like idiots, inverted commas. But that obviously doesn't mean that's what they have to do. But for me to sort of hear him out, hear his concerns, that's something that's important, like for me to do. And then also, obviously, we take that into what kind of content we will make for them. After hearing his concerns, he was talking about what are like budgets. So I gave him an amount that we work for an existing client, and he said that was a bit too much. So I gave him a second option. Obviously, that means we do a bit less, but he was happy with that second option. So yeah, that was very cool. Then I sent a proposal with how we'll do the content in the first month. They have asked to do a month-to-month kind of thing in the beginning, because I guess we want to see how things work. And I still think they are a little bit nervous and they don't want to commit to something too long. So the ball's in our court to prove ourselves to them, to prove that we can be trusted, and that, we're not going to be making them look like they don't want to look, if that makes sense. So that is currently the situation. I haven't started doing content with them. We're going to start from next month. I'm going actually later today, but this will only be posted later, but I'm going today to go and film. So the idea is to go in on one day and like the batch film the content for the month. So we're going to do 8 to 10 reels for them a month. And then we will take it from there to see if we need to adjust or change things and see how the reels perform. The other thing that we spoke about was, how do they measure their success? So what is a win for them? If we've created all this content, we put it out there, like what is something that shows them that this is working? So for them, again, it is about brand awareness. So this would be to do with the accounts growing, people engaging with the accounts. For me, it's always a win if people in real life speak to them and say, hey, I saw you guys on TikTok, or I saw you on Instagram. That video was really cool. That is for me like a number one win of like, oh, cool. The content's working in a brand awareness kind of way. If people in the area come up to them who don't like know them and be like, hey, I saw you guys on social media, that's also very cool, because those are people who don't already know them. And then obviously things like the accounts growing, and engagement on their accounts and things like that. So that's sort of the plan, is to, I guess the cool thing is that we're beginning from zero. So any growth is already going to be seen as a win, which is kind of in our favor because they don't have any of those accounts. But it's going to be to see, I think it's more about engagement and then that sort of in-person type of feedback. Let me speak about the content that we are looking at creating. So our plan is organic growth. They haven't got budget to put ad spend on. We're not going to be boosting any posts. This is just organic. We are, I said, like I said before, we're going to be doing 8 to 10 reels. At the moment, video content is performing way better than any image content, especially as far as like reaching a new audience. So we'll only be focusing on video. So we'll make short form videos. So it will be for Instagram Reels and for TikTok and for Facebook Reels. We're not going to do anything on YouTube yet, just with like budgets and things like that. So we're just going to be focusing on those 3 platforms. And then it's about creating content that fits into these categories: educational and entertaining. So educational will be about teaching people how to use the product, what the features do, the benefits of a certain product over another one, educating people how to finance their product, how they could do maintenance on their product. So basically educating the product, how to sort of get the product, but also once you've got it, how to use it, what are the cool features and those type of things. Then we'll also do some entertaining kind of content. And this will be looking at a trend that's out there that we could apply to them. That would be the main thing. And obviously also just thinking of things ourselves that like, oh, this would be a funny video that they could do. There's a fine line with like humor that can come across as like really cheesy or really bad. But the cool thing is with a small account is that can actually be to your favor because there's not really many people watching in the beginning. Also, the point in the beginning stages of working with a client, especially when they need to appear in the content, is that a lot of the first videos are to make them feel comfortable. They don't know what I'm going to make it. I'm going to come up with my own ideas. So it will be things like helping them be on camera, getting them comfortable on it. So maybe doing less complicated videos and keeping them more simple so that they don't have a hard time having to do what they need to do on camera. And then also giving them a look at what it looks like before we post it. That I feel like is a big one because it helps people see, oh, that's what it is. Because sometimes if you like film people, they've got no idea what this thing is going to look like. So it can help them feel more comfortable to see how the video comes out before we go ahead and post it. And normally what I do is, especially right in the beginning, is give them I tell them that we won't post it until they give us the go ahead. So that's also helpful. Okay, so that is pretty much everything that I wanted to share right now. I think what I'll do is in a month's time, we'll go through and look at what happened. So at the moment, they've got 0 followers on Instagram, 0 on TikTok. They've got about 2,000 on Facebook, but the Facebook is getting super low engagement. I think they are posting a photo maybe once or twice a week, and they're getting like 2 likes on that photo. So we are really in the beginning. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go and what we learn along the way. So that's it for this episode. And let me know if you have any questions or ideas or suggestions, or happy to hear anything you guys have to share. And thank you for watching. Subscribe if you would like to see more of this, and I'll see you in the next episode.